Something is wrong here. Not sure how I know, but I just do. The sky, that ain't natural. The governor as well. Up to now I've respected the man. Felt he's done right by me, but something's changed. He seems to just want to ignore all this strange stuff happening. My friend's just the same. Drinking away. Am I the only one who feels something has to be done? It's those damn cards. I swear there's something about them. I've seen things like them before. Little travelling fairground when I was a kid. Now a lady there, she had cards and crystal balls. Mum told me to stay away. She said folks shouldn't meddle with things they don't understand. I didn't pay it much heed back then, but I think I am paying it heed now. The governor needs to step up. We can't all pretend that everything's just fine. At least one other person agrees. And now, hopefully we can sort this out. We need to make a stand. We need to do the right thing. For once. I can't believe I'm saying that, but it's the truth. I know it is. This is Red Moon role-playing.
Brown, I'm disappointed in you. I thought you were a winner, a man with guts and fire in your blood, who dared to take what he wanted. Can you not even carry out this simple order?
I'm not saying I'm defying your orders, sir. I'm just saying there's no sense to them.
And I'm firing my gun. Because without noticing it, I've been pulling out my gun. I don't know where it came from. It's been in my hand and I fire it at the floor.
And you fire the gun, yes, down into the floor. And everyone, of course, looks shocked at what's going on, except the governor, who simply puts his head to the side. What are you doing to my floor, O'Connor?
My apologies, Governor, I say, without looking at the governor. But I'm looking at Michael, a bit surprised at what I'm doing, sweating a bit. Bit of, still, alcohol clogging my brain, but I'm sorry, Michael, I can't let you get in the way of this. We need to carry out the orders that he said. Take him down and flog him now. I'm gonna have to take him down.
Good man, O'Connor, good man, O'Connor. And Brown, I really did have the right feeling about you, didn't I? I think you should have to have some time to think about this, and it wouldn't be appropriate for you to keep your station in that time. No, I think you shall be demoted. You shall be a subordinate guard to O'Connor here, a man who sees the world for what it is and takes what he wants, a man with fire in his veins. Yes, very good, O'Connor. Take Clark here, bring him out, flog him, and Brown, why don't you make yourself useful and help him in that?
And I sort of look at O'Connor, and my gut is just filled with this sudden hatred and rage. It's almost like I can't see the man I thought I knew anymore. I just see this thing, and I feel a moment of defeat, and I feel confusion, and I kind of just quietly remark, "Of course, sir, I wasn't defying your orders. Aye, of course, we'll go and do as O'Connor says."
Good man, he says, and you find yourself standing outside of the office, having left.
Wait, no, is that... Sorry, because I was gonna... Is that like instantaneous?
Not instantaneous, no, more like, you know, the way that he moved you out of the cell previously. There's command to this man. Yes, there's a force in his being that compels you to leave, unless you, of course, decide to take some form of radical action here. Brown, are you going to do that?
As I feel this pull to leave, and I just feel as if there's nothing I can do, one thing just echoes in my mind. It's almost like I feel like there's no time to do it other than right now. I pull out my pistol. I aim it first at the governor, but then I just feel this impending sense that that won't achieve anything, and I point at the deck of cards and I pull the trigger.
And you fire, or you are trying your very best to fire. You are trying to lift your gun towards the governor and the cards, but you find that it is by your side. You were never able to lift it up. It's a peculiar feeling to not be able to control your limbs, but that is what you're experiencing right now.
And I'm moving up to you, and I'm saying, I'll have that, thank you. You've been demoted.
And the governor nods in approval to you, O'Connor. And now, I take it, you will leave.
I hand over the gun.
So I disarm him, and also Clark, taking the rifle, putting it aside, and I start leading Clark out. And I say, are we going to help out now, Brown?
I give you this look for just a few seconds, and I'm sure you'd feel it, of unbridled hatred, as if I could take your head and smash it into the floor multiple times, and then it's gone, and I nod. Aye, O'Connor, of course, sir. Anything you say.
And you are met with a cold gaze, and I nod slowly towards you, and then I turn toward Clark, and I start leading him out.
And you do just that. Waiting outside the office is a number of your subordinate guards, and Taylor and Dorsley are also in the vicinity. Having heard the commotion, the shot going off. Is everything all right there, O'Connor?
Everything's fine.
Yeah, Brown?
It's just this superintendent here seems to be in need of a lesson.
Ah, it's the governor's orders, then, I take it?
His orders indeed. And me and Brown, who is no longer a captain of the guard, is going to help me.
I see. And you hear the door opening behind you, and the governor comes out of the door. I simply must see this, he says, and he starts to follow you as you're escorting Clark towards the courtyard. Brown, you are standing there. Are you seeing this happen?
I watch everyone going, and I see myself disarmed. But I blink a little as I then notice suddenly the attention no longer seems on me, and the governor's following out. Everyone's going to the courtyard, aren't they, to watch the flogging? Yes.
Yes, indeed. It's a great pleasure to watch a flogging. It's basically the biggest attraction you have here.
I go to my quarters, and I'm looking for a lantern. I have lanterns in the quarters, don't we?
Of course.
I shall go there and get a lantern ready and just start patrolling the halls with my lantern, just going past the governor's office.
Yes, and the governor's office is simply a door now. Stuart has seemingly followed the flood of people moving towards the courtyard, where you can now hear the screams of the superintendent being flogged. There is the door, and yes, you wonder if it's locked.
I'm filled with such confliction, and I feel so... Part of me feels like there's nothing that can be done. I should just go outside and accept everything. I go and open the door just to look in as I'm thinking of making my way out to join everyone else.
And you look in, and the office is as it always is. The cards are not on the table, however.
I stare into the office. I see the cards are not present. I go to the windows to... What is O'Connor doing outside?
I have taken my outer coat off in the physical exercise that I'm about to do. I was ordered to flog him myself. I've been sort of sobering up slowly. I've been grinding my teeth, thinking that things are pretty good. Things are alright. So, we shouldn't be upsetting them. This is something that we have to do now. And I am personally flogging the superintendent. Strike after strike. Seeing the skin come off. Seeing the blood come out. And I'm thinking to myself, things are good. Things are good. Let's keep them that way.
Yes. And you do not stop until you see ribs. And the superintendent does not pass out. He continues screaming. And he continues living. And yes, that is what is going on in the courtyard. Brown, you see this.
And I think to myself, to hell with it. And I go back, I run into the office, and I run to the desk, and I just start trying to look through it. Can I find these damned things anywhere?
You do not find the cards. You do, however, find keys. New keys. Very new keys.
Is there even a point to... I frown a little. I take the key. And I run down to the basement. I run all the way down. I'm running as fast as I can. I still filled every moment with this feeling of giving up, of this being the end, but what do I have to lose? Actually, just before I get there, I pause. Barnes. Where's Barnes?
Barnes is in his isolation cell, where he always is, and as you pass him, he looks to you with that creepy smile that he has, the red hair and the acne scars. Brown?
Barnes. I lean over to the cell. If you were to get out of this cell right now, what would you do?
I would free the other prisoners, and I would cut the head off the governor, and I would piss on his corpse.
I look at him with a manic look in my eyes. Part of me knows that what he's saying is the insanest thing, and wrong as well, but I find my hand just reaches to my other set of keys. You know what, Barnes? You're a right bastard. But maybe when you're in hell, we all are, eh?
We are indeed, he says with that creepy smile, waiting for you to open up his cell door.
I open his cell door and I go, remember your old pal Brown, eh? And I don't even wait to see what he does, I just immediately start going back to the final door.
Yes, indeed. He makes his way out. Do you give him the keys that he will need to free the other prisoners?
Yes, I do.
Yes. Then he takes the other keys and you see him starting to get to work on the isolation cells already, and there are many cell doors to be opened. But this is a great time to do it. And you stand in front of the new door. A very, very new door down in the narrow corridor with the frost and the metal bars and the girders and the grids. And you hear the whimpering from the other side. It continues, just as it was before.
I go and open the door, turning the key in the lock. As I'm doing this, I'm saying, you know, ma'am, funny thing, but I didn't ever think you should have been here. Maybe you shouldn't be here, eh? Maybe?
She laughs, a kind of cackling laugh, this old crone. You now, having opened the door, you see into the darkness, and you see her lying there, and she's able to turn her head to face you. Come closer, she says.
I don't do that. I sort of frown. Don't take me for a fool. Don't want you clawing my eyes out or something. I just came to see. I don't know why I came.
I think you know why you came. You feel guilt because you're the ones who did this. You brought this on yourself. Didn't you? This is all you're doing.
It's not my doing. I mean, maybe a little. How do we make it right?
He has taken control of everyone in the prison. This man you call Seymour, the governor. He has done so using the cards. The Tarotica. You are all bound to the cards now, you see. I made them. Through the pain of the forgotten, I made an object. I carved it out of my own skin. An object that could reshape the world. Perhaps shape it into something kinder. Something more human, filled with warmth and love. And she sort of looks around her. Where there would be no forgotten anymore. But then I started to think, that isn't really what being human is about. Never has been, has it? There will always be forgotten ones. There needs to be forgotten ones. And the forgotten ones will always have their goddess, just as I will have a flock to tend to.
You don't have anything down here, you're in chains!
You must get me out of here. You must break his control over the cards, otherwise you will never get out of here either.
He's like... You're both the witch in the story. You know the stupid story? Where the thing in the woods gives you the treats and the biscuits, and the little boys and girls go missing. You are both those things, aren't you?
I do not see myself quite that way. But, listen. There's one card that controls them all. The Demiurgos. He has tied himself to that card. This man, Seymour. You are already tied to the lower cards, and you cannot touch him. Because there is no greater power among the cards than the Demiurgos. You must break his control over that card. But you can only do so when he is weakened. You must weaken him. And then you must bind the card to someone else. Someone without power. So that you will be free to do whatever you want.
But I can't do that. I clutch my head. I can't. There's no way I can do that. O'Connor, he's got everyone. I can't do anything.
But then we are surely all lost. There must be some way. There must be some way to get the people here to rise up or something, right? Some way to defy him. If you can defy him, you can break his control.
What happens if I free you?
You can try, but I do not believe you will be able to. You put these chains around me good and hard. I don't think anyone but him can free me.
I go and try touching one of the chains.
They're oily and cold, and they are stuck to the ground as if they have been fused with it. It is one and the same. You try to pull at it. Even with all your might, you are unable to even make it budge. She is stuck. Firmly stuck.
And I think back to what I've just done. So you're saying this card, if I can just get this card, I can stop this?
Yeah, you just take that card, only that card. Only the Demiurgos. And you need to take that card and you need to bring it to a person completely without power, someone completely broken, powerless, and you drip their blood on that card. And then Seymour's control will be broken. And then you can destroy him, and you can free me.
I run out of the cell. I'm going to try and get all the way back upstairs and get to my rifle. That won't have been taken yet. That's still in my quarters, right? I have no idea what awaits me upstairs, but that's what I'm doing.
What awaits you upstairs as you get up? You start to hear all of a sudden noises. It's the bangs of weapons being fired, the screaming of people being shot and killed and being destroyed by horrible violence. There is a full-on riot upstairs. And time has passed, you know, because time passes in this place. And you come up and you see the guards engaged in full-out conflict with the prisoners led by Barnes. You see the governor by his office having come out of it. He's telling the guards to move faster to crush this rebellion. O'Connor, what are you doing?
I'm fighting tooth and nail, firing my gun, trying to keep the prisoners at bay. First it was just warning shots, but now it's effective fire. They won't stop. They won't back down. And I'm fighting in a frenzy, looking around me, feeling frightened now that someone will stab me with something or take me down.
33. You pull the bolt back and you fire again. 34 prisoners dead by your hand. The count keeps going up. You keep reloading your rifle. And Brown, what do you do?
I inwardly scream, because it's official. I knew it. We are in hell. This is hell. Somehow, we've come to hell. All I can do is try and do what's right. I will try and get to my quarters, or unless there is a weapon nearby, but somehow I don't. I'm gonna try and avoid the fight if I can, but I'm gonna just try and keep low and get to my quarters. Get the gun.
Then I would like you to roll for act under pressure as you try to get there in this very, very difficult situation.
It was a 16, but then it was minus by 2. 14.
And on your way to your office, you're passing quite close to where O'Connor is, and O'Connor, you see Brown moving towards his office. What do you do?
I see him sneaking by, and I'm thinking, he wasn't out there. Where did he come from? Did he do this? Could he possibly? I saw him hesitate, and I look up and I see a prisoner coming, and I fire off another round. And then after that, I lower my rifle and I hurry after him, keeping my head down.
And you reach your office, Brown, and your weapon is waiting for you there. What do you do?
I go to get my rifle.
And you are now armed, and just as you arm yourself, who is by your door if not your colleague, your friend, O'Connor? And you see each other. And what do you do?
And I stand there, sweat coming down my forehead despite the cold, and breathing out puffs of air. And I say, what are you doing, Brown? What have you done?
I've not done anything, O'Connor. I offer him a worried smile. I'm getting my weapon, sir. There's a riot going on. I need to get my weapon down to help protect the governor. Don't I? You're the boss.
Who set the inmates free?
I don't know. I went to check around the area and I suddenly just saw this all happening. You know what? I think you were right about Clark. I think you're right. I think he was planning something. Obviously, this is his doing, isn't it? I shouldn't have trusted him. I should have trusted you, O'Connor. You've got a good mind about you. I'm doing my best to influence another here. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19?
Oh, so yeah. You think Clark did this?
And I feel weird because, of course, I know I'm lying, but that's the funny thing. I suddenly feel a little bit like I used to when we played cards. I could always tell O'Connor's tells. Most of the time, he was a better player, but when I won, it was always when I could bluff. Just a little. Aye, sir. I think he was responsible, wasn't he? Who else would have got down there with the keys? I mean, this has happened all so quickly, hasn't it? Don't worry though, sir. Sir, I'll tell you what, maybe I should go just to check on the governor, and you can, you can lead the men. We need to get this handled, O'Connor, or we'll be in trouble.
Yeah. Just get your rifle. Keep your head down. Don't do anything stupid, all right? I'll get the men.
Of course, sir. Thank you, sir, and good luck, sir.
And I go out and I do my best to help the men stop the rebellion. I'll probably stand on the balcony shouting out orders and shooting more.
Yes, indeed, and you're sort of firing down into the crowd. I mean, there's so many prisoners here. There was 1,000 of them. There's not 1,000 anymore. Many have fallen to your seemingly endless bullets. But there's many that are freed. Pretty much all of them have gotten loose somehow, and you see some of your fellow guards being overrun. This isn't looking good, O'Connor. This is not looking good at all. But with you at the helm, perhaps things will be better. Brown, you are now free to move. You have gotten out of your office. You have your rifle. And what do you do?
I have my rifle, and I get the lantern, and I make my way to the governor's office.
Stuart is actually standing by the office now. He looks at you. No one's supposed to get in. It's off limits, Brown. He's not here anyways.
Stuart, listen to me. Have you not found it weird that you haven't been able to see your family?
This man has received very strict orders from a man he fears very much, but perhaps you can influence him otherwise.
Aye, I'm going to try and influence him. I'm going to go over to him, hold my hand on his shoulder and say, look, it's me, your friend Brown. I know this sounds crazy, but we're in hell, Stuart. We're in hell. We've all been sent to hell. And the only way to get out of hell is to take away what the devil has over us, you understand? It's in the office, it's the cards, Stuart. You need to help me, Stuart. Together we can do this. You gotta trust in me. 9.
And you put your hand on his shoulder, and then you hear a bang, and you feel blood sort of coming out of your stomach. Stuart has fired his weapon at you, and he's looking absolutely terrified, as if he might have made some kind of mistake. What do you do?
I just blink as I look down at the injury. I'm terrified that it all ends now. That's 11. What's the harm?
2.
9.
Then you get to choose. Will you be knocked out? Will you receive a critical wound, or will you die?
I shall receive a critical wound. And as I sort of stumble back, realizing that he's shot me good, I'll sigh a little and fire my rifle as best I can at his face.
You do that, then I would like you to roll to engage in combat.
15.
You fire your rifle, and the bullet hits true, right into the head of Stuart, who's sort of staring at you with this dumb look as blood is gushing out the back of his head, and he sort of slumps over, and you look into his eyes that never got to see that child of his sister. He was such a proud uncle. Well, he's dead now, it doesn't matter anyway. And the office is free in front of you.
I stumble forwards, clutching at my gut. I've been shot. I don't even know where, but in the gut. I'm surprised I haven't fallen down. Maybe it's not totally the end. But it doesn't matter. I just stumble towards that desk, bleeding now heavily.
You stumble towards the desk, and you see, noticing now behind the desk, that there is a door. It's concealed a little bit, but when you're this close, you actually see it. It is slightly ajar, and there seems to be something, a small Yes, a small room, small chamber. And in this chamber, on the table, you see the cards. The cards are laid out.
I stumble over to them, clutching at my wound, trying to ignore it as best I can.
It hurts like hell, and you feel yourself fading. You do not have long to go. The Tarotica is laid out in a complicated pattern on this table. There must be like 60-something cards here. Skulls, roses, hourglasses, eyes, crescents. And then there's one card in the middle, the Demiurgos. The card is darker than the others and more defined. It's an eye inside of a triangle. You notice that the cards, now that you're this close, they're not made of paper, but... No, that's human skin. It is as she said. The cards are made of human skin.
I try to go to this one that seems to stand out among all the others and touch it.
You touch it, and last time you sort of tried to make a move for the cards, you felt resistance. You felt the power, you felt the force, the presence of the governor, but not now. It's as if you have successfully weakened him. It's as if this riot has taken his focus away, and you find yourself holding the Demiurgos card. It is in your hand now. You have it.
I start going up the stairs, my vision starting to sway a little. I feel my wound. A little part of me thinks that maybe if I'm treated, I might actually, I could make it. But when the hell is that gonna happen? And I sort of, as I come up, I just start looking like who even is nearby? Who could be nearby before I collapse?
There is only one place. This place is really overrun now with people fighting. The prisoners are free, yes. Finding someone powerless here would be hard. There is one person who must be truly powerless. One person you saw. The man being flogged. Clark, perhaps he's still out there.
I think on this for a moment. As I look around the office, I then see, is there any whiskey nearby?
Oh, yes.
I go and get a bottle out, and I start draining it onto my wound. I know that's not going to fucking remove a bullet, but maybe at least it will stem infection, cauterize it a little. Cauterize! I look at the lantern, and I think, can I use the lantern to sort of burn my wound? It might give me some time. This is, of course, the thinking of a desperate man.
It is indeed. I would like you to endure injury as you do this.
Very well. I fail. I get a 9.
Yes, you successfully cauterize the wound. It completely chars your stomach, and you scream out in pain, and it hurts, if possible, even more than it did before. And you feel yourself draining away, fading away, even faster than you were. You have no time now. If you were screwed before, you were certainly screwed now. But there's a little left in you. A little. You can choose to go on, or you can choose to lay down here and die. And perhaps that will bring you peace.
I choose to go on. I literally feel myself about to pass out, and I think maybe, for a few seconds, I do. I find myself sort of on the floor. The gun's been dropped, the lantern's been dropped. And I just think, outside. I'm going to die outside. But maybe I can do this one thing. And I start stumbling dumbly outside if I can.
And you start to stumble outside, and you see in this courtyard, you see Clark. He's on sort of a log over which he's been bent, and you see his back. He's just been left here. It's completely destroyed. You see ribs protruding and flesh has been torn away, but he is alive. It's impossible. He looks, if possible, even worse for wear than you. You sort of stumble your way down there, and the gunshots are going around all around you, and you hear screams intensifying. The prisoners are clearly winning this. The governor is pushing people onward, and you see your colleague O'Connor. He's fighting for his life, and you reach Clark.
I look at him stupidly. I stumble over and I fall. I've lost the gun, I've lost the lantern. The only thing I have in my hand is this card that I just pull out. I sort of look at him as I'm feeling the desire to go to sleep. I just want to go to sleep now. And what's he doing as I'm sort of looking at him and sort of crawling now towards him?
You see this big beard, it's all bloodied, and his eyes, one of his eyes has been sort of knocked, he's got a big black eye, but the other one is open. It sort of looks at you, and you can sort of see him crack a small smile almost. Brown. It's the only thing he's able to utter.
Hi, Clark. I'm sorry, we've all gone to hell. We're all gonna die. But you know what? Maybe at least the devil doesn't win either, eh? And I take the card, I smear it against my gunshot wound, and I hand it over to him.
When he touches the card, you can hear a bestial roar. O'Connor, you see the governor. He's screaming in a completely inhuman way. The prisoners are completely overwhelming the guards. You feel yourself. It's you and Jenkins. You're sort of being pushed back, and you see an opening towards the courtyard. Perhaps that's the only place that's open. Otherwise, you're going to be killed here.
Jenkins, fall back. We gotta get out of here.
And you can roll to act under pressure to see if you can do that.
And I've got coolness 3. 8 plus 4, 12, 15.
15. You are able to successfully navigate your way towards the courtyard, and Jenkins is with you as well. He follows you close by as you're sort of retreating away, and you see out in the prison how the prisoners are overwhelming the remaining guards, launching themselves onto the governor, and you see them starting to tear him to pieces. And you reach the log where Clark is slumped over. You see by him Brown.
Brown! And I rush over to him to see, oh no, they got you too! And I turn him over to see his wound.
I sort of chuckle a little dryly as I just look at O'Connor and say, I did my best, O'Connor. I did my best.
O'Connor, you see the remaining guards being slaughtered, and you see Barnes. He's holding up Seymour's decapitated head up for all to see. The prisoners are cheering, and you see the disfigured bodies of your slaughtered friends, almost everybody you know. And you know that they wouldn't be dead if not for you. You've played a crucial role in all of this. And that's when you hear a metallic clank, as if a great lever has been turned, and everything goes dark around you. You're standing all alone in the darkness.
Hello? Hello? I start to stumble about, feeling my way.
There's nothing here. There's only darkness. There's heavy footsteps approaching, though. Coming right towards you. For you see, your punishment awaits. You have listened to an episode of Red Moon Role-Playing, where we play the campaign Taroticum for Cult Divinity Lost. Taroticum was written by Gunilla Jonsson and Mikael Petersen in 1992, with additional material for the 2018 edition by Petter Nallo, Mattias Fredriksson, and Alex Obernig. Cult Divinity Lost is published by Helmgast. The music was made by Atrium Carceri, featuring collaborations with Apocryphus, Herbst 9, Kammerheit, City's Last Broadcast, God Body Disconnect, and Eldar, and was used with permission from their label Cryochamber. You can find more delicious dark ambient at cryochamber.bandcamp.com or their YouTube channel. Finally, a big thank you to, well, you, for making this campaign possible. It would not be possible without your generous support on Patreon. You give us so much energy, help us cover our costs, and open up time to record and edit. And remember, death is only the beginning.